Good morning. April 27th, 6:20 in the morning. Headed to work. I posted some videos about different things. I was going to speak this morning on meditation. If you're thinking of getting into meditation, or even if you're thinking of getting into, I don't know, spirituality, I guess. I wouldn't necessarily say religion. Religion is completely different from spirituality. But if you've been searching for some things and you're not sure, you're just kind of, I always described it as walking through a dark room with the lights off. You're kind of just trying to find your way, and you still haven't seen the light. So if you're thinking of getting into spirituality, and spirituality doesn't have to be evil. I've talked to several religious people that are in religions, or not even necessarily in religion. They study their Bibles, which is nothing wrong with that. I don't have anything against anyone who studies their Bibles or gets into a religion. I feel that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. That's God's way of calling you. You can still believe in God and be spiritual and be religious. But, I feel I've been in religion. I was brought up in religion. And I don't know. I just never felt comfortable in religion. I never felt like I was part of it. And like I said, nothing against it. I don't have anything against it. You don't have to be in a religion to be close to God. I feel that, and I'm sorry I'm speaking on religion, and please, I'm not talking bad about religion or the people that are involved with religion. I do feel that there are some people that need to be led by a person who is ordained by God to preach the gospel, and they feel like they have to be led. They have to be part of an organization. It helps them with their walk with God. I'm on the highway, and there's some people that do not go the speed limit sometimes. It's funny because I've always had, what do they call it, aggressive driving, or whatever they call it. It's always been one of my tests. I'd always get so angry with people's drivings, and it didn't make any sense. At the time, it made perfect sense. Get out of the way, you know what I'm saying? Why are you driving so slow? And it was funny because once I started getting into spirituality, part of that is to get rid of the negativity, the things that bother you in life. You become a lot more carefree. So that was one of my biggest tests, and I've actually overcame that. But anyway, so some people feel like they need to be led. They need to be part of an organization. They feel alone, or they don't want to be alone in the walk. They need somebody to help them, guide them. Spirituality, more or less, is just you and God, and not you, man, and God. You don't have to go through a man to get to God, because God is already inside you. All you have to do is find Him. So if you're searching and you're part of a religion, it just doesn't seem right. No matter what religion you get into, you're searching for God, you're searching for answers. You just can't seem to find it. And you're just at the end of your ropes. And maybe you're thinking of something different, and you've been taught that spirituality is not good, it's evil, and that's not true. Please don't think that. That's not true. That's just part of a religion. That's just their rules. There's nothing against that, and please, I'm not trying to deter you. I'm not trying to distract you, but there are some people out there, and I've seen it a lot in the gifted people, empaths, star seeds, indigos, whatever other labels there are, and they just don't feel at home. It just doesn't feel comfortable. I never have been comfortable in a religion, even though I grew up in it, and I was part of an organization, part of a religion, and I was always the outcast of the religion. I was always the backslider, I guess, as they refer to it as. I smoked the cigarettes. I cursed. Did things that were outside of the box, per se. Even had a preacher once tell me that he was going to cast the demon out of the boy, or the boy out of the demon. I'm sorry, he referred to me as a demon. What a beautiful morning. Wow. Got a pink tint to the sky. Very beautiful. Wow. But yeah, so if you're looking for answers and spirituality keeps circling on in your head, then maybe that's something you should be trying to find your way into. And meditation is a big part of spirituality. And if you're going to start, I noticed when I started to get into spirituality, I started doing my research, started doing meditation. It's funny because once you start getting into spirituality, it's like you open up a door to the spirit world. I noticed that I started seeing things differently, things that were always there. God is always there, and He is always tapping you on the shoulder, trying to get your attention. And a lot of us that are caught up in a haze or a fog or deluded by man don't see it. But once you start getting into spirituality and start connecting to God on a personal basis, you'll start to notice some things. You'll notice that you'll be getting sent messages. And I've said this before, they call these synchronicities. You'll start seeing a sequence of numbers, maybe 4s, 2s, 1s, and you might start seeing white feathers. Anything that it's like, wow, that's such a coincidence. That's really strange that I just saw that at this moment. And most of the time, these numbers, when you see these numbers, you Google these numbers. And I know, you say Google could tell you anything, but how else will you get your information? I understand God can speak to you in your mind, and that is true. But sometimes if there's a lot of chatter going on in your mind, it's really hard for God. Not saying it's hard for God to speak to you, but it may be hard for you to listen or you to hear God speak to you. So, if you see these numbers, you look at the clock and it's 444. Google the number. You're going to find out the information. Google the number, see what it says, see what the number means. Whatever thoughts you've got going on in your head, you watch when the numbers arise. You look up the numbers, and most of the time, and this has happened in my case many times, when I look up these numbers, it's going on exactly what's going on in my head. It's very strange. It happens all the time. And you know what? I think they call these angel numbers, and I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that it's just God speaking to you. They just labeled it as angel numbers because Lucifer was an angel. Lucifer was the angel of light, and he was a very beautiful angel. And you got to be careful when you start getting into spirituality, because it can go one way or it can go the other, depending on your mindset and what you're thinking. But if you're thinking holy and you're thinking godly, God will speak to you. And I don't like to call it angel numbers, even though that's what they call it. It's God. It's God speaking to you. It's not angels speaking to you. Not saying that there are not angels around. I do believe that there are angels around, and they are here to guard us, to guide us. But God's going to speak to us, and our minds start going, and we start thinking, and we start worrying, or whatever the case may be, and we see these numbers, and then you look up the numbers, and these numbers have meanings. And most of the time, especially when you start diving into spirituality, and not religion, spirituality, these numbers are going to match up with what's going on in your life. I would almost say 99% of the time. So you're going to start opening up doors. You're going to start seeing things. And once you start seeing these things and start feeling these things, and things that'll be like, oh wow, you'll start scratching your head. That's crazy. That's crazy how I saw that. Some of these things I see sometimes even puts tears in my eyes, because it's so amazing to me. Like, wow, I really needed to see that. I really needed to read that and hear that. It's confirmation of what's going on in my mind. You'll start opening these doors. You'll start seeing things, start feeling things. And once you start doing that, you're not going to want to go back. You're not going to go back to where you was, lost. Almost like you're lost. Now that you're going into spirituality and connecting to God instead of man, things are going to even open up even more, and you're going to start experiencing things even more and seeing things even more, and then you're going to start to meditate. And with meditation, and this is normally what I like to do when I start to meditate, when I first started to do it, I had a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of doubts. And if you go into meditation with that mindset, you can conjure up some things. You can see some things and feel some things that are scary, and you can feed off of that. And it could, God is there all the time. He wants to use you, but also the devil is there as well. He's there, and his followers are there, and they want to work with you too. They want to use you as well with your gifts. And you have to be careful in which way you go when you meditate. If you go into it with fearful and scared, the devil and his followers, they feed off of fear and depression and sadness. They feed off of that. And they're cowards. The devil and the demons, the devil's followers are cowards, and they feed off of fear. And you have to be careful when you go into meditation and not have that mindset. If you go into meditation and you start connecting to your subconscious mind with that mindset, you're going to start seeing some things that you're not going to like, and it's going to be very scary. So what I like to do is, when I go into meditation, I will pray. I'll read my Bible, and now I'm starting to connect to God. And I'll pray again before I get into meditation. I'll even ask God to help me, guide me, to put me on the right path. And when you start, and this is something I changed up as I was meditating, I changed up this mindset, and I noticed some things, and what I like to do is I'll listen to my earbuds. I'll have some earbuds, and I'll listen to these things called binaural beats, and they have different type of binaural beats, and all these binaural beats, they put off a certain tone, and these tones are supposed to help trigger some things in your mind, healing manifestations, whatever the case may be. So I'll listen to these binaural beats as I meditate. I have a prayer closet, is what I call it, and it's dark. It's very dark in there. I can't even see my hand in front of my face. Most people like to meditate with their eyes closed. I actually like to do it with my eyes open. If you get your eyes closed and you start diving into your subconscious mind, it could cause you to fall asleep, and that's not a part of my subconscious mind that I want to get into. I want to get into the awake part of my subconscious mind. So as I meditate, I pray, and I connect to God, and I meditate. And as you meditate, you're gonna start, playing this game. I always called it. Your mind will be speaking to you. I always call it talking to yourself. So this will be a battle of you trying to clear your mind, and it's going to be tough at first, especially if you have ADHD. And it's funny because most gifted people have ADHD. It's almost like it was there on purpose to make it a little bit more of a struggle, more of a test for you to connect to your spirituality and to meditate. But I also had ADHD, and I found it very hard to quiet my mind. The whole point of meditation is to quiet your mind. We have two different minds: the subconscious mind and the subconscious and the conscious mind. And you want to get out of your conscious mind, which is you speaking to yourself. And I say that it's just your mind's going. You're thinking about the day, you're thinking about tomorrow, thinking about the next day, whatever the case may be. Those are that's our conscious mind, our programmed mind. We want to get out of that programmed mind. Everybody has it. I don't care how spiritual you get. You're going to have that programmed mind. We've been programmed since children, since our adolescent age, since growing up. But once you can get out of that, and how to get out of that is to quiet the thoughts. So as you're meditating and you get these thoughts that come into your head that hold no value to you, as soon as you see it and you recognize it, stop it. And it's going to be a battle back and forth. Stop it. There's a thought. Stop it. Every time that you get that thought in your head, stop it. And it's going to be tough. Don't give up. It's going to take some time, but practice makes perfect. The more that you can control your mind and tame your mind, the easier it becomes. Also, you want to breathe. Do not hold your breath. When you're holding your breath, and we notice even during the day when we're walking and we don't really pay attention to our breath, and we're holding our breath, and when we're holding our breath, we're holding in that negativity throughout the day. When you breathe in, think of breathing in positivity, love, and peace. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out the negativity that's in your mind. That's also something that you want to do during meditation. Concentrate on your breath. Think of that as you're meditating. And as you're doing that, it's going to be a battle, like I said. It's going to take some time. Don't give up. It's gonna get easier. Just keep maintaining that. But once you can start clearing your mind, you're gonna start to find peace. Because if there's no thoughts going on in your head, then you're at ultimate peace. And where there is peace, there is love, and you will find God. God is love. God is peace. It's hard for God to speak to us, and not necessarily hard to speak to us. It's hard for us to hear God speak to us when we've got constant chatter going on in our minds. You know, a lot of people will pray and they'll ask God for things, and when they get done asking God, they're done with their prayer and they go on with their life. They never think of stopping to listen to God. They're asking God all these things, and they don't really think about stopping and listening, because God is there. He's going to speak to us. He's going to show us things. So you do your prayer, you ask these guys these questions and these answers, or whatever the case may be, help you. And you know what? I've changed up my mind, or my ritual when it comes to praying now. I no longer ask God to help me. To me, it's almost like there's a lack of faith. When you're asking someone to help, it's almost like a feeling sorry type thing. I don't do that anymore. When I ask God for something, make me, Lord, to be a better person. Make me to be a wealthier person, not to help me. It's almost like you just doubt. You're lacking the faith. And I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying it's almost like that. So maybe change up your prayer when you're praying. Don't ask God to help you. And it's not like you're commanding or demanding God. That's not what this is about. You're setting your way. You want to make that to happen. You're asking God. So the more you can quiet your mind, and this is what happens in my case, I'll start to quiet my mind, which doesn't take long. I've been doing this for a long time now, and it does not take long for the thoughts in my mind to stop. And when this happens, I start to see a light. And this light will come into my vision. And sometimes I'll see what looks like, especially at the beginning stages of meditation, I'll see these things that always reminded me of a star, a bright star. But it's like the star was black in the middle, even though I'm in the black, and around that star was white. It would almost be like a light. I'll start to see lights, and I'll start to see these colors. start to appear. And it's funny because these colors will come in waves, and it's always the colors of our chakras. So it's almost like when I meditate, and I wouldn't say almost, it probably is. It's the chakras opening up as I'm meditating. So these colors that I see are my chakras opening, and as I'm meditating, because I'm connecting to my chakras. And you'll start to see this. Well, I start to see it. Not everyone sees it. I do have friends that are in this meditation like I am, and they don't see the colors and the lights like I do. So maybe not everyone, and please don't just get discouraged if you don't. The whole point of meditation is clearing your thoughts and connecting to God. He is always there. So just be careful of how you're going into meditation. Do not be fearful. Do not be scared. And that's the wrong mentality. If you're meditating and you start getting these negative thoughts pop into your head, stop it right then. You don't want it to escalate, because you will manifest what you're thinking. If you're thinking negative, you can manifest negative. So always think loving and positive thoughts. Always go into meditation with loving and positive thoughts. Just be careful. Meditation is a very powerful thing. For those who do see things like I do when I meditate, don't freak out. I've seen faces appear as I meditate. I've seen images. I've seen colors. I can see one image in one eye and see another image in another eye at the same time. Two different images. It's really weird. But I've even seen alien faces. I've seen an alien face just appear in my vision. I've connected to people before during meditation, and I will actually see them appear as I connect to them. And it's almost like they come out of the dark. It's almost like they were laying down and they appear just out of the dark, and there's their face staring at me. The person I'm connected to, I can see them staring at me. I've even connected to other people, and I've had people that they were related to or that were related to them appear in my vision. People that I've never seen before. I don't know these people, but I've had people appear in my vision. Even people that are alive. I've had people that are dead appear in my vision that are connected to people that I've connected to. But it's really strange when you start seeing these faces, and it's going to take some time when you meditate. But like I said, practice does make perfect. Stick to it. Don't be discouraged. Like I said, you will find your peace, and you will be full of peace and love. Once you start connecting to your subconscious mind where God resides, you will start to see a difference in yourself. I got into meditation because I was tired of the pain that I've been dealing with my whole life. And that was the whole point of me getting into spirituality, connecting to God and meditation. And it completely changed me for the better. So stick with it. Don't get discouraged if you don't see things. Not everybody does. I hope it all goes well for you. I hope that this video helped. If I had missed something, make a comment, ask me. I will reply. I hope you guys have a great day. Love and peace, and good day.